everyone, welcome to Pick a Side Stupid. Tonight is our trivia show. So it's going to be all about Danny Devito. If you are a Devito head, as they call his biggest fans, then this is the night for you. The fun thing about this show is that you, the audience, will get to go up against our comedians, our contestants tonight. I'm going to set the link for our multiple choice trivia into the YouTube comments right now, so that as we ask these questions, you can write what the answer is, what you think it is, and we can see whether you get as many right as the comics, or if you get more right, perhaps. We'll see. With me this week is my wonderful co-host, May Keith. Hey, May, what's happening?
Hey, Sean. Hey, everybody.
How are you? Did you learn anything, without giving anything about the quiz away, did you learn anything about Danny Devito this week?
I learned so much about Danny Devito this week. And by so much, I mean like 5 to 7 facts about Danny DeVito.
Nice.
So
that's pretty good.
Pretty exciting stuff. Yeah. I also remembered I haven't seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in like a long time, so I'm probably gonna watch that this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good one. To warm up for this, I watched War of the Roses and Matilda, which are kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum for Danny DeVito, but it's like one nice wholesome one and one where I shouldn't have been able to watch it when I did when I was 11.
Yeah, you got the full range there, and you didn't watch Matilda until you were in your 30s. So
that's I know, I did that backwards. I should have watched Matilda when I was a child. That probably wasn't out when I was 11, but
I don't know. It might have been. I feel like it was like 99
when it came out, though.
Well, that brings us to our next point. Laura Clark is also with us. Hey, Laura, what's up?
Sorry.
No, it was the perfect time. We had to introduce you anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just my head is swimming with all the DeVito knowledge I acquired this afternoon.
I love it. You studied for the quiz. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still stuck on Matilda because I read the book, so I was like, oh, maybe I could be a genius like Matilda, move things with my mind. Mm-hmm. So I feel sad that you didn't have that experience.
I
mean, until now, I assume.
Yeah, I think there are still other movies as a child that I was like, oh, maybe I can move things with my mind. Like, that's a pretty common idea.
John Travolta and Phenomenon, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I was like, I can probably learn physics in like a week if I fall over and hit my head. Or something.
Nope.
So Ken Green is also with us. Hey Ken, what's happening?
Hey,
hi Ken.
Hanging here. How's it going, everybody? Hanging out. And I'm relying on not my studying knowledge of DeVito, and my natural absorption of knowledge of DeVito. I've seen much of his work, and by that I mean a handful of movies and TV shows. And Fluid, you called it, like you said, DeVito heads, DeVito devotees, or
Stanny DeVitos.
That's good too.
DeVito.
Stanny DeVitos. Okay, I like that.
Right there.
Ooh.
In your hands, you blew it. Oh man, come on. I've been thinking about that all day, but anyway, that's my work day. So yeah, didn't get anything done. But yeah, it's good to be honest. I'm ready. I will use whatever natural knowledge of DeVito I have. I have some knowledge of his earlier works. I mean, I might have missed a Matilda, might have missed a couple other movies here and there, but I can get by. I got this quiz in the bag. Don't worry about it.
All right,
it's
cool.
Done deal.
Strong talk from Ken.
We also have our friend James Sheehan with us tonight. Hey, James.
Hi, Sean. Hi, everybody.
Hey, James.
I'm really nervous about this quiz because I was under the impression that I was going to do a quiz about Danny Elfman. So I've been listening to Nightmare Before Christmas and Edward Scissorhands instead. So I learned about Danny DeVito just recently. But yeah, should be fun. I like just small cameo appearances, I had to remind myself that him and Tom Cruise are in the same movie. If you remember the beginning of the third Austin Powers film, when Steven Spielberg does like the Americanized director version, and Tom Cruise plays Austin Powers, and Danny DeVito plays Mini-Me, and like Kevin Spacey plays Doctor Evil.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yeah.
True.
All right, before we give away all the answers to the quiz tonight,
All right, fine, you won.
let's get
That's
into
all
it. So we have a little warm-up question on the poll right now. So if you want to click on that, I left the poll link in the comments on YouTube, and I sent it. If you're in the Skype meeting with me right now, I sent it to the Facebook message that we had, so you can get in there if you want. So we have a poll that you can vote on. We have just a little sample one right now that says, what was Danny DeVito's best role? Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or Vincent Benedict from Twins? So vote on that, and I'm gonna do the countdown right now, so you have 10 seconds to vote, and then we'll see what people think, and then we'll get right into the trivia. May, do you want to ask the first question tonight?
Sure.
Kick it off?
Sure.
All right, so the results from that are 6-0 Frank Reynolds. People think that Frank Reynolds
Yeah,
was the
absolutely.
best role.
Yeah.
Which I got a little flack for that when I asked it earlier, because somebody said the Penguin was clearly his best role. But
That's another good choice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So
I like when he plays a dark reflection of humanity. It just works, you know?
yes, exactly. All right, so we have 3 contestants. Whoever gets the most correct answers will win, and what you win is that you get to plug any show or whatever you want to plug, while after that you also get to shit on the other people's projects. So if you know what the other people are involved in on this show right now, feel free to just trash them at the end of the show. Or say nice things about them, I guess, if you want to be nice about it. But the real prize is bragging rights. So let's start it off. I think, why don't we start with Laura, and May, you get the first question, and I'll come back after that.
All right. So I don't think we have even questions for each category, but I'll let you start by picking. Laura, do you want acting, directing, producing, animated, or wild card?
Producing.
All right. Good choice. So your question is, which overrated film did Danny DeVito produce? Your options are A, High Fidelity, B, Empire Records, C, Reality Bites, or D, Almost Famous. Remember, it's a very, very overrated film in my opinion.
In your opinion, wait a minute.
Sorry, I was waiting for a different overrated film, which I learned he produced today. So what was the first 2?
So the first 2 are High Fidelity, Empire Records, and then you have Reality Bites and Almost Famous. Wait, which film were you thinking?
Garden State.
Very overrated.
Yeah. It's like the definition. I don't know. I've been watching Scrubs, and like Garden State has kind of flavored Scrubs. Okay, so all of those are about record stores. But right? I haven't seen Reality Bites. Also, Almost Famous is... They're all about bands. They're all about music. Anyway, oof. I feel like it's either Empire Records or High Fidelity. Empire Records is overrated. How much riffing is acceptable here? Like, okay, Empire Records I feel is overrated only because I saw it after it had been hyped by everyone I knew as like this movie that like really spoke to them, that like opened up their adolescence and like their burgeoning sensuality. And like I came into it a little too late for that. I thought it was so cool how Liv Tyler had a necklace full of speed though. Like I would get one of those. And then High Fidelity is just overrated because it's like postmortems of all my relationships.
It's just bad. Yeah, it's just not a good movie.
Okay, so based on your reaction there, May, I am gonna go with High Fidelity as my final answer.
Oh no, I influenced you with my opinions about that movie. That's not unfortunately. So the correct answer is Reality Bites.
Right. So we got one person.
Good answer.
One person voted for the correct answer on the poll. So.
Wow. Yeah.
We have to be voting.
There was only 2 votes on the poll, so I mean, hey guys, get in there and vote, even if you're wrong. That's my opinion here.
Yeah.
Is every vote
We decided that like if you get it right and everyone else got it wrong, you'll get an extra point. We'll say.
Okay. All right. I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna ask Ken the next question. I think if he's ready.
Ready.
All right.
Let's go.
So we just did producing. So would you like a question from acting, directing, animated, or wild card?
He is the consummate actor. So I'm gonna go directing.
I don't know why I expected you to say acting.
I know. Next one, but yeah, directing. He needs credit for his directorial work there.
Okay, so this is I think one of the tougher questions of the night, but here it is. Danny DeVito saw his directorial debut in 1976 with this film. Was it A? I'll give you the film and the year it was made. Was it A, Car Wash, 1976, B, The Money, 1976, C, Selling of Vince D'Angelo, 1976, or D, Space Jam, 1996?
Oh, well, his directorial debut? No, it came before '96. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna knock out Space Jam. Car Wash? No, I'm pretty sure I know that wasn't him. Which leaves what was the middle one?
The Money, Selling of Vince D'Angelo. Well, The Money and Selling of Vince D'Angelo are your 2 options that are left.
And the Selling of Vince D'Angelo. In '76, there were a lot of movies. It sounded like he would direct something like The Selling of Vince D'Angelo. They had these I know I think he started off doing like independent films. I think maybe '76. He was probably still doing, I don't know, when the Taxi. I guess that was '70s, I guess. So he wasn't that big of a name. So he probably did. I'm going to go with that Selling of Vince D'Angelo. It sounds like something he might do.
Wow, that is correct.
Yes. Boom.
And,
nice, Ken.
I don't know how many other
like
people would have gotten that answer, because that's a bit of an obscure one.
Yeah. Well, it's just process of elimination. I mean, he was like, I think he did like independent films early on, and he was directing a few and in a few, and that sounds like one of those indie film titles of the '70s, So yeah, that sounds like him.
D'Angelo sounds like his alter ego.
Somebody with in New Jersey. Yeah.
It looks like we got 3 people that got the correct answer on that, and 2 that got the wrong answer. But one person answered Space Jam, so I think they might have been not trying real hard. All right. Well, May, if you want to handle this next question, I think it's for James.
It is.
Okay.
All right, James. So you can pick the category of either acting, animated, or wild card.
Let's do animated, please.
Oh, all right. Let me see. Oh, I can do somewhat of an overlap with Elfman with a Simpsons question here for you.
Ooh, perfect.
Okay. So your question: which side character does Danny DeVito voice in The Simpsons?
I know. Okay.
All right. So here are your options. It's A, Max Powers, International Man of Mystery. B, Herb Powell, Homer's half-brother. C, Disco Stu, a lover of disco and roller skates. Or D, Frank Grimes, who prefers to be called Grimy.
Well, it's not Disco Stew, because Disco Stew's got a very, iconic voice, which doesn't sound
Like
very...
Danny DeVito.
That doesn't sound very Danny DeVito-esque. But the first guy's Max Powers. That's the episode where they move out of Springfield into the other town, right? And Homer works for is that who I'm thinking of? That
I think
character?
you're thinking of when he worked for Scorpio.
Oh, I'm thinking of Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah.
But just a lot of mysterious people on The Simpsons. You know, there's what, 12 characters on The Simpsons?
Yeah, a lot of one and done characters.
A lot of one and done. But yeah, it's Homer's half brother, because I actually at the beginning of quarantine I started watching The Simpsons from the very beginning, and I remember listening to this voice, and I was like, that sounds like someone from the show I watched a lot of. I had to Google it just for a quick reference while watching, and I went, oh crap, it's Danny DeVito. So yeah, Homer's half brother.
That is correct.
Oh, good job.
But he owns a car. He owns the car factory. He has to design a car, and Homer does it for him, and it's the worst ever.
That spins. Yeah.
It has spins.
Yeah, and like a
And a
bubble.
big bubble,
Yeah,
don't
like a
it?
jet
Perfect.
bubble. Yeah.
And he completely bankrupts his brother.
The common man's car.
That's it. Good job. Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
All right, good work.
All right,
Okay,
so
so after
everybody
one
got
round-
that right.
Yeah.
So after one round, James and Ken are tied with 1 point each, and I gave Laura a really hard question. I think the rest of my questions are easier than that. Sorry, Laura.
That's okay. No.
All right.
I would never
Sean,
do
wanna
that to you,
start
Laura.
Round two.
Yeah, so I'll ask Laura a question this time, and I'll try not to be as mean with my question.
Thank you, Sean.
Ouch.
The problem with Zoom is May can't tell that I'm giving her a passive-aggressive glare.
Right?
It's just I'm just looking in this direction.
I picked up on it.
All right, so what category haven't we done? We haven't
done acting or wild card.
Okay,
yet.
so acting or wild card. What do you think, Laura?
Acting, please.
Okay. So, your question is, which of these roles did Danny DeVito not play? This is one that he did not play, okay? Was it a lawyer in War of the Roses, or a lawyer in The Rainmaker, or a lawyer in L.A. Confidential, or Arnold Schwarzenegger's twin brother in the movie Twins?
Oh boy.
Okay, so a few months ago, right, I feel like the bomb has been dropping on Kevin Spacey for 10 years at this point, and it's come in phases where first it was they were like, oh, let's have an open secret that he's gay, because then we won't know that he likes young boys and abusing his power and all that crap. But he won't even admit that much. And then it was like in blind items and whatnot. It was like this A-lister likes to get college boys drunk in his hotel room and, blah, blah, blah. And so then it was like just kind of an open secret that he was this close guy. But I guess full that. And then over the past 2 years, it's like really got the hammer. They took him off House of Cards. He made that really fucked up video where he's Frank Underwood being like, "Give the pedophile another chance and give the separatists." Like, it's so, and he's like in his kitchen, and they already like moved on without him. Okay. Anyway, though, I feel like it was still after that a bunch of his movies got released on Netflix because he's no longer that like profitable property. So I've seen LA Confidential this year, and Danny DeVito plays a photography paparazzi journalist type who gets in way over his head. That's not a pun. Danny DeVito may be short in stature, but he's great in depth. He's huge in life, and he does not play lawyer in LA Confidential. Final answer.
That is correct. That is correct.
I believe
Anyone play a lawyer in LA Confidential?
What's that?
What's that?
Does anyone play a lawyer in LA Confidential? I don't
know. I think it's a lot
Not for long.
of police.
I think DeVito, the character was modeled after this famous photographer in New York, Ouija, I think, who was like this guy. He was having a grungy guy. He was a photographer. He'd take all these crime scene photos and sell them. And I think they kind of modeled that character off this guy named Ouija, if you look him up. But there was a real movie about the actual Ouija, played by Joe Pesci, the poor man's Danny DeVito. So, yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm not just picturing Danny DeVito in Goodfellas instead of Joe Pesci, and it's.
I want to see Danny DeVito in all of Joe Pesci's roles. I want to see like My Cousin Danny. I want to see Dan
Home Alone.
Fellows.
Not Home Alone. That's the one. That's the one where I feel the dignity of Joe Pesci like really adds something to that character.
That what is it? That like Jimmy Hoffa movie that they did.
Yeah.
It's just 8 hours of old Danny DeVito.
Yeah. They could put him in what's the other one? Oh, With Honors with Brendan Fraser. Remember that one? Put Danny DeVito in there. All right. I think Ken's next. May, you got the question.
Yeah, Ken, I think you're up, and I think it's down to wild card if you're up for it.
I'm up for the wild card. Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna ask a question that kind of stays in this this line of conversation that we're having. Okay, so your question is, which actor did Danny DeVito room with while attending acting school? So who was his roommate? Okay, your options are A, Michael Douglas, B, Rob Schneider, C, Adam Sandler, or D, Joe Pesci.
Oh, Jesus. Pesci, ugly Pesci hand again. Okay, well, I'm going to rule out, what's the second? Rob Schneider?
Rob
I mean,
Schneider.
he went to college. I'm pretty sure he could not have gone to college. I won't buy that for a minute. If it was definitely community college. And nothing wrong with community college, but he did not go. I don't think he went with what college? Because DeVito went to school. I think he was from Jersey, so I think he went to an East Coast school. I'm gonna guess. Rob Schneider, not an East Coast guy, barely a college guy if he is. You said Sandler.
Yep,
Way too
Sandler, Joe
Way too
Pesci,
far.
or Michael Douglas.
Unless Sandler has been lying about his age all these years. I'm pretty sure he's not 70, whatever Danny DeVito is. 70 DeVito. So that's out. He was with Michael Douglas, and the last one was
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Now, that's tough, because I could see Joe Pesci and DeVito hanging out together. He said he roomed with them, too.
Roommate, yeah, they were roommates.
Yeah, roommate. Michael Douglas. Wow. This is tough. I'm tempted to say Joe Pesci just because I would love to see those two as roommates and like hanging out together. I can imagine their room. First of all the shelves would be really low. That's really hot. The room is like one of those little elf rooms where you like the door's really tiny little door down. You go down there.
They could get like a house that had like lower
The
ceilings.
half door, and they just open the bottom.
So that would be funny to see. But I'm gonna say because of their weird, their working relationship, and I can see them having that kind of friendship. It's like I think another weird roommate was like Marlon Brando and Wally Cox were roommates, which is another weird pairing. So I could see DeVito and Michael Douglas. I'm gonna say Michael Douglas.
That is correct.
Oh yes, that's
Oh,
all
The
right.
thing I always think about with Michael Douglas is when he said he got cancer from eating. It's like, that's the thing that I know him from.
I just got a note from a certain wife that said, "Stop shaming short people," so I'm gonna stop that.
Whose wife is it?
I wasn't shaming. I'm just saying that things need to be lower. That's all.
Yeah, May, you're right. Michael Douglas had medical problems from getting too freaky. So
Oh, that's right.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, though.
allegedly.
He broke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So
All right, so Sean, I think you're up to ask James a question.
I'm going to ask James a question right now. As I do, I want to just point out that the majority of our audience did get that last question right. They did say Michael Douglas. So it was about half. So we're on board with decently difficult questions at this point, I think. Okay, so I think James can go with any category now. So,
Correct.
What do you want, James? Acting, directing, producing, or animated, or wild card?
Well, since I got animated right last time, let's pick animated again. Hopefully I get the same question.
Okay, this question is, well, it's a little known fact, or maybe it's well known, I don't know, that Danny DeVito was a voice actor for the show My Little Pony. What was the name of the character he voiced? Was it A, Grundle King, B, Perennium Prince, C, Dirty Duke, or D, Twilight Sparkle?
Okay, wow. This is, with where the internet is now and where the My Little Pony has gone, all of those names associated with Danny DeVito just sound so wrong, and yet so right at the same time. What was the first one? Grundle?
Grundle King.
Grundle King. Oh my god. That just sounds like a nickname Danny DeVito would have in like normal life. the Grundle King. What are the other ones? These are just all funny names.
Dirty Duke or Perennium Prince?
Dirty Duke?
Yep.
Or Twilight Sparkle.
Or Twilight Sparkle. But that one's not as gross.
Yeah, so I feel like I would think Dirty Duke because I know in Always Sunny, as he plays Frank, he's just a completely like dirty and disgusting person as he just lives with Charlie Moore. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe like My Little Pony was like, hey, what if we just had him as like a very like sparkly person's name? I don't know. So what was that? I keep forgetting all of the one that doesn't
I'm
sound
gonna run through
like,
all of the possible
it doesn't sound like a
options.
porn star's name. That one.
All the options are
They all sound like porn stars' names.
Grundle King, Perennium Prince, Dirty Duke, or Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkle. Final answer.
Going with Twilight Sparkle. Well, the answer is actually the Grundle King.
Oh my god.
That was the name of his character, and I when I heard that, I I had to look it up because I was like, I feel like grundle is like a word that means like the taint, but maybe that's just like in my head. Like that's probably just something that I thought I heard sometime. And then I looked it up, and immediately the definition was like the perineum area of a body between the genitals and the anus.
Yeah.
And they named him that.
So, okay. So what's crazy is so I googled Grundle King, and all the photos of like this character from My Little Pony came out, and it's a troll. Like the 12th or 13th photo on Google is just a photo of Frank as the troll toll from all the So I wonder if that was like inspiration for that character.
No, he voiced the Grundle King in like the 80s, I think. So, but yeah, maybe that inspired the troll toll, the troll maybe. All right, so James has got one wrong here. 2 people got Grundle King right. 2 people guessed Twilight Sparkle, and 2 people said Dirty Duke. Nobody went for Perennium Prince. I get it. That would be a weirdly specific, like you didn't accidentally call him the Taint, you know? At that point.
Is there a character in My Little Pony called Perennium Prince?
God, no. There is one called Twilight Sparkle. That's where that came from. And then Dirty Duke, I don't know. I was like, you know what?
Google Perennium Prince. Okay, that's never mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
I should have mentioned before this started, don't Google this as you're trying to answer it.
No, just after. I'm not cheating. I'm educating myself to, all the other options.
All right. I think we're back to Laura now and May.
And Laura, you can have any category except animated.
All right. Can I do wild card?
Yeah, you can do wild card. All right, let's see. So, because I feel like I gave you such a hard question last time, do you want the question that is my favorite fact I learned about Danny DeVito this week, or do you want a Frank Reynolds trivia question?
Oh, man. I'm going to take a Frank Reynolds trivia question.
All right.
I gotta have it.
Wild card question about Frank Reynolds specifically. Which of the following has Frank Reynolds not done on It's Always Sunny? Your options are A, waterboard D, B, marry Charlie, C, stab Dennis, or D, shoot cricket. So which of those things did he not do?
Wow. Okay. The only one I remember for sure, he definitely married Charlie. So that one's out. And then the other 3 are so in character for him.
Yes, they are.
Like shot cricket feels like a trick question because it's like probably he has certainly done violence to cricket and someone has shot cricket, but was it Frank? I don't remember. There's 15 seasons.
There's a lot.
Waterboarding D seems so in line with everything the show is about, but I still think if they were only going to waterboard one character, I don't think they could make it D. Despite everything about that show, I don't think they would do that. And then stab Dennis. Damn, okay, honestly, I'm completely... I could throw a dartboard at this. But I'm going to say waterboard D.
Okay, so your guess is that he never waterboarded his legal daughter, who's not his who was not his biological daughter, Dee, on the show. I don't know why I threw in that extra trivia.
If that's a hint, then I really feel like you're like basically saying, now remember, adopted children are not real children. They are not loved. So there's no reason not to waterboard them. Wait. Oh. God. Okay, I'm changing my answer to shot cricket.
Okay, so he did waterboard Dee. He waterboarded her in the urinal, as you may recall. Yeah, they walk into the bathroom. She's waterboarded in the urinal. But no, he shot Cricket in the hurricane episode. Cricket was running out of the basement, and Jay shot him. The only thing he has not done, he has not stabbed Dennis.
Oh, wow.
Wishful thinking, I guess.
Yeah, right?
He does
Dennis
get
deserves
stabbed.
more than anyone.
Wow.
All right. Well, the only thing people didn't guess was that he married Charlie. At least everything else got at least one vote in our poll. So people just wouldn't believe that he married Charlie, I guess. Well,
All right.
I think Ken is up next.
Yeah.
Ken is up next, and Ken is in a commanding lead right now.
Ken is in the lead.
Yeah, I don't believe it myself. I swear to God, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
All right, so what category would you like? I think acting, directing, producing are all still on the table.
I don't think I did acting, so yeah, we'll do acting. Just acting.
Okay, acting. So I think I already asked that question. So okay, so Danny DeVito appeared in an episode of Friends titled "The One Where the Stripper Cries." In this episode, who did he play? A strip pole cleaner, a strip club owner, a strip club bouncer, or a stripper?
Okay, well, surprisingly, believe it or not, I've actually seen Friends, and actually seen this episode of Friends. Like I said, I hated everybody on Friends. I couldn't stand any of the actors mostly. Well, I mean, they were fine, sure, they're fine people on both sides of the apartment building. But I couldn't. I love the writing on the show. The writing I thought was great. The people, the actors, yeah, I could do without them. But I occasionally did watch it, and I surprised myself when I see a rerun. I'm like, wow, I actually watched that. I've actually seen that before. I don't know how I would know that. And I guess I watched mostly to see when a black person would show up. Occasionally, one would walk somewhere behind it. So it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait to see that. I was sitting there, well, is this going to be the week when a black person comes to New York? I don't know. Maybe the one with the black person, they called it, I think. That was the episode. But it was definitely an episode, yes. He played a stripper, and in particular, he played a policeman stripper. Dressed up as a cop, and he was horrible as a stripper, and then he cried, and then they, took care of him and whatever. And they said, we're going to let you finish the strip act. And he did his little strip act. But yeah, he played a stripper, specifically a cop stripper. Stripper dressed as a cop.
That is correct. And you know what?
Yep.
For a bonus point, you've got this point no matter what. But for a bonus point, can you tell me the name of the stripper?
Oh, God. No, I probably can't do that. But I'm going to guess.
Laura looks like she's trying to buzz in on this.
Oh, shit. She can steal a point, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll allow that.
Let's see. Let's hear Ken's guess, and then if he doesn't get it, Laura can steal.
I'm going to say the first name was like Frank. That seemed like a name they would give to a character. Frank Malowitz. I don't know.
Okay, that's not it.
No.
Laura Clark, do you know the answer to this?
Officer Goodbody.
That's right. His name was Officer Goodbody.
Good job.
Laura picks up a point.
All right, Laura, way to go.
All right. Well,
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
so glad I dog sat for people who have TBS.
I don't get any. I get one channel. We don't have like cable at all. But is Friends just on 24/7 on TBS?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
pretty much.
Pretty much.
I feel like they have a hour block in the morning and an hour block in the evening minimum.
Sounds about
And
right.
then sometimes there'll be Seinfeld and other times it'll be more Friends.
Interesting channel. All
Ooh,
right, so
that's-
James, you are gonna close out round 3 for us. I think it's directing and producing are your options.
Let's go with producing.
All right. Your question is, what is the name of Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman's production company? Your options are Short Stack Entertainment, Jersey Films, DNR Productions, or Garbage Films.
Garbage film sounds like a. That just I feel like one of these answers always sounds like something that Frank Reynolds would create instead of actually Danny DeVito. So I feel like that eliminates trash productions. Short Stack seems like a really good. That just seems like right on the nose. Just sort of like in line with his humor. And what were the other two options? R&D?
DNR and Jersey Films.
DNR sounds boring. That sounds like a law firm kind of name.
The other, never mind. Wait. The other doesn't sound boring either.
Yeah. And the other one was, you can tell I'm really bad at multiple choice, especially when they're read out loud to me.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
hard
can
to
see
hear
them on the
it.
YouTube.
The last one was Jersey Films.
Jersey Films. Sounds too much like Jersey Boys, so I feel like that'd be confusing. Let's go with, I'm going to pick Short Stack Entertainment. Final answer.
That's a good guess, but no, I made that up. That is not the real answer.
Ah.
Yeah, the real answer is Jersey Films.
Oh, man.
And they produced Garden State. So,
Came out like 10 years ago.
so really, they do produce garbage films. All right, and
Oh, come on.
Ouch.
Wait, didn't Jersey Films do Pulp Fiction?
I believe so.
Yeah.
be a question later.
Oh, shoot, I shouldn't say anything.
That might be related to something that's coming up later.
I mean, never mind.
All right.
I like them getting answers to questions that haven't been asked, but I can't get any of the ones asked to me correct.
That's like when I actually go to a trivia night at a bar, I never know the right answer, but when somebody says the answer, I can tell them exactly why they're wrong. All right. So we're back to Laura. And
I think
James,
it's
if it makes you
correct.
feel any better, most people got that question wrong. So
That's also because I've also been picking on the poll, and I actually picked the wrong answer after May told me it was wrong.
perfect. Okay.
When you were cheating on tests in school, were you lousy? Like you would write the wrong notes on your crib sheet? Did you do that or no?
I would copy answers straight from someone else's test, and I would get a worse score on multiple occasions. So.
All right, we're back to Laura Clark. Laura, what category? What do we have left now?
Directing, I think.
Just directing?
Yeah.
All right, I guess.
Directing, please.
Okay. I think. All right. This movie, The War of the Roses, was directed by Danny DeVito. What was the film about? Was it A, neighbors vying to have the nicest garden on the street? B, a series of English civil wars for control of the throne? C, a couple that remained in the same house throughout their divorce, or D, clowns?
All right. Well, I've never seen War of the Roses, but I know it's not about a War of the Roses. Maybe their last name is Rose or something, but I don't even know if it's that. I know what it's about. I'm trying to be friggin' like free association, man.
Slow playing
I
it.
feel like I've seen a clip where they're standing in a big room, but on like different sides. So it's like a big house, right? So they're in their divorce, but they could ostensibly like keep to separate quarters. But I bet that's not how it shakes out, is it? Or there wouldn't be more to speak of, right? Like they're going through it. But yeah, that I know, right? Is Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? That's the people, and they're getting the divorce. So that one.
All right, so you say that the answer is a couple that remained in the same house throughout their divorce, and that answer is correct.
Good job.
Is there a chandelier in the big room?
There is a big chandelier, and spoiler alert, they both end up hanging from the chandelier at the end of the movie, and we have to wait to see if it snaps and they fall to their doom, or if they fall back in love on the chandelier and get back together.
Oh, it's like a metaphor.
It, like Inception, where it's just like, who knows?
Yeah, they sit on a
Well,
chandelier on a
waste
chandelier.
my time.
All right, so we are moving through the fourth round here. So right now, Ken and Laura are tied with 3 points. Ken, if you score this, it'll be tough for anyone to take the win from you. So all categories are open.
No pressure. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
Not a race, Ken.
Categories are open. What do you want to go with?
All of them are open? Oh boy. I'm gonna flex my muscle and go for a wild card.
Wild card.
Yeah, let's try it. I'm not gonna make it easy. No, I'll make on myself. Let's do it.
You are gonna get my favorite Danny DeVito fact that I learned this week. Are you ready?
Oh, not really, but go ahead. Sure.
Okay. So during the filming of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Danny DeVito became concerned about his own sanity and sought the advice of the on-staff psychologist after what happened. Okay, so basically something happened and he got kind of freaked out and he talked to the psychologist who was working on the film.
Right.
Your options are A, that he invented an imaginary friend to help with his loneliness. B, that he kept hearing his character's voice inside his head. C, that he could not fall asleep without eating cat food and huffing glue. Or D, that he became terribly germophobic and shaved all the hair off his body.
Okay, well, one of my familiarity with this movie, I remember his character, Martini. I only call him Mr. Martini. He's just a little tiny, quiet guy. Didn't say a lot, but he'd just pop up in places like a weird little gnome. No offense to DeVito, but that's what the character looked like. But yeah, he was kind of quiet. So, and he didn't really I don't think. I mean, to prepare for a role like that, I don't think he'd be eating cat food. Like, oh, this guy would eat cat food. That's the kind of character he is. So I'm going to eliminate the cat food one. What was the first one?
So the first one was invented an imaginary friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other option was germophobic, or character's voice in his head.
I'm gonna rule out germophobic because again, I think his acting. He probably want to get close to what this character is, and he's kind of quiet. So I'm gonna rule out the germophobic. That wasn't really a character, I don't think. So it's either a voice in his head because the character was like, say, real quiet guy. I mean, I could see him creating this little guy's voice in his head. Voice in his head. I'm sorry. One more time. What was the other one? First one.
Invented an imaginary friend.
Okay, it's either one of those, imaginary friend or voices in his head, which are often very similar, or probably are the same thing. Because you can't have an imaginary friend without having a voice in your head. They're not there. So I think this is a very tricky question, because I think those are the same things. I think you should reassess this question.
I'll read it out. Question fully as the answers as fully as worded. So, invented an imaginary friend to help with his loneliness, or kept hearing his own character's voice inside his head?
I'm going to go with kept hearing his character's voice inside his head.
That's a really good guess. But no, he made up an imaginary friend because he was lonely.
Yeah, that makes sense too, but I don't want to.
I don't think that makes very much sense. I don't.
Well, the character, seeing the character, I could see the character, to get in the body of that, the mind of that character, I could see that. It's a good movie. I mean, the role, you could kind of see him like, yeah, I could see it. But obviously I didn't see it enough because I got it wrong. So, yeah.
Well, good guess, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Did you learn anything about the friend?
No, just that apparently as long as he knew it wasn't real, the psychologist wasn't concerned.
Oddly enough, the imaginary friend's name was Rhea Perlman. That was the weird. She doesn't actually exist. We all think he was married to her, but he was never really married to her. We're going to find out when he dies, and it's going to be like, oh man, he wasn't even married to her. She didn't fit. So yeah, that was it.
All right.
I like it. A collective projection for all of us.
Yeah.
All right, so James, you're up next. Sean's going to ask you a question next. You could still pull into a lead with this, or pull into a tie at least. So
yeah, James, you could wait. I think you could pull into a losing by one scenario, right?
Yeah.
How many multiple points do I have?
You have 1 point.
You've 1 point,
right.
And Laura and Ken each have 3. So you really need a 2-point.
2 points, right?
You need a 2-point answer here. I'll tell you what. If you get the question right, maybe I'll give you a follow up like I did with Ken that time, and you can get back in this game. But what category do you want?
What category do I get to choose from?
I think. Are we back to acting, directing, producing, and animated? I think
so. Yeah.
we only used wild card, right?
Yep.
Let's do acting.
Okay. Let's see. I think I asked both of my questions here, May. So
Yeah. Just go for it.
I might have to use one of yours.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. And this is a fun one. The question is, Danny DeVito was seriously considered for which role until Arnold Schwarzenegger was eventually cast? Was it A, The Terminator, B, Detective John Kimball, which is from Kindergarten Cop, C, Dutch from Predator, or or D, Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way?
Oh my God. I'm picturing that helicopter scene in Predator with Carl Weathers and Jesse the Body Ventura, and all the other guys, and just like Danny DeVito's like sitting on one of their laps because there isn't enough room in the back of the helicopter. Oh man, it can't be that one. It's other than that one scene is hilarious as it is. I feel like that whole franchise was based around the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger agreed to do that movie. That sounds like a plot he came up with. It can't be Arnold. It can't be Predator. The other options were Kindergarten Cop, Terminator. Oh my God, Terminator is another one. So like, Danny DeVito has to come back naked, like. Just trying to find someone's clothes, he has to like steal them from a kid. Like, is that how that work? Man.
can't picture him saying Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
You can't.
Oh, I gotta kill you. Oh, I can't be that. No. As funny as that is, so it's either Kindergarten Cop or Jingle All the Way. I bet you he'd enjoy being in a movie where Sinbad was his arch nemesis.
To be fair, who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, Sinbad is also in an episode of It's Always Sunny. So, no. There's some sort of correlation. I'm sure that's how they got him on the show. I'm sure Danny, he was almost in. The other option's Kindergarten Cop. I'm gonna have to go with. Jingle All the Way. Final answer. That face sounds like I absolutely got it right. I mean, that sounds like a.
The answer was, if I'm remembering correctly from when I read the notes that May sent over, the answer is Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Really? Man.
Wow.
Well, the majority of people on the poll also got it wrong, so I don't feel as
Yeah, you're not alone here. 3 of the 4 people that voted said Jingle All the Way, and only one person said, one genius out there figured out that it was Kindergarten Cop.
And no one voted Predator. I don't understand.
I'll just recommend other Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he could be in Commando.
Running Man. Danny DeVito in The Running Man.
Conan the Barbarian.
Danny the Barbarian. All right. Well, we're back to Laura again.
Yes, Laura. So I think we have. So what do we have? Producing? No.
Directing, producing, and animated, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do we want to? Yeah. One of those.
Okay. Directing, please.
All right. Here is your question. Danny DeVito directed which movie that Roger Ebert described as the worst film of the year? Specifically, he said, only enormously talented people could have made this film. Those with lesser gifts would have lacked the nerve to make a film so bad, so miscalculated, so lacking any connection with any possible audience. He did not like this movie. So, which movie did Danny DeVito direct? The options are A, Rat Race, B, Death to Smoochie, C, Freddy Got Fingered, or D, Austin Powers Goldmember.
Okay. So, I know it wasn't Freddy Got Fingered, because that was Tom Green and a bunch of his friends making the best movie of the 90s, which I saw in theaters with my dad, Richard Clark. It was a weird experience. I wanted to see the movie Pollock, where Ed Harris plays Jackson Pollock.
180.
And that was not available, so we saw Freddy Got Fingered. So not Danny DeVito.
Wow.
Okay, I love Death to Smoochie, but I know that Roger Ebert hated it. And that's got, Ed Norton and Robin Williams. Rat Race is like John Lovitz and John Cleese and...
Cuba Gooding Jr., Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, there's like 50 people in that movie.
Okay. And... Okay, only talented people could have made this movie. I remember he said that. Okay. So, okay, and then what was the first one?
So Rat Race, Death to Smoochie, Freddy Got Fingered, and Austin Powers Goldmember.
Oh, and then it's not Austin Powers, because that's like Mike. Oh, wait, but he's in the first scene of of Goldmember.
That's right, I gave it away.
Proving that definitively that he and Tom Cruise are not actually the same person. No, but Roger Ebert wouldn't be like, oh, only talented people would take a chance on the third chapter of a popular franchise. Okay, so that leaves Death to Smoochie and Rat Race, and Rat Race is everyone. So, and then Death to Smoochie is Robin Williams and Ed Norton, and then there's like a very talented Irish actress as like a mob leader. And it's great, but it's definitely out there. So yeah, Death to Smoochie, final answer.
Death to Smoochie is correct.
Yeah!
Amazing movie. I can't believe how much you hated it.
Yeah. Process of elimination, baby!
What a journey. All right, Laura is currently in the lead with 4 points. Ken, can you tie it up?
Oh boy, I don't know here. Let's give it a shot. Okay. What are the categories?
All right, so I think we have producing and animated that we can still get to here.
Man, I didn't do I'm gonna do producing, but I don't know any of it's animated. Whatchamacallit. Let's do producing. I'm going with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't need. Although he looks like a cartoon.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you this question because we already answered this earlier when somebody just started talking about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But it was which popular film did he produce? And it was Pulp Fiction. I tried to give you The Dark Knight, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings, but clearly this would have been far too easy for you, Ken.
Yeah, probably would have. For sure.
So I'll give you this one instead. What was the name of the film Jersey Films produced starring both Redman and Method Man? Was it Seed of Chucky, How High, Garden State, or Titanic?
It's gotta be. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were in. I would have loved to see them in Titanic. Hey, yo, man, this boat is sinking. Yo, dog, down, go. Get out the way. They would have, I would have loved to have seen them in Titanic, But unfortunately, that's not to be. Although, maybe it'd be a remake, They're remaking a lot of movies now, so maybe they'll do a remake of that.
In all black, the Titanic.
Oh, I'd love that. Call this boat is going down. Going down. What was the other? The other one was
Seed of Chucky, How High, Garden State. I feel like you eliminated Titanic, so.
Garden State, that's like a Friends thing. It's not. I don't think they would have been in that. So I'm gonna rule that one out.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I mean, I've seen Garden State once. So okay, whatever. Out. Titanic out. So it's Seed of Chucky and How High, and I'm like 89% sure it's How High. I think they go to college or something like that, which that's a thing. I guess they did. Seed of Chucky, I could see because those movies have an edge of like weird humor, and people like that stuff, and I could see them liking that whole genre of movie. Man, I'm like I said, 89% sure is How High because they do like to get high, from what I understand. So, and they would either at college and certainly like selling drugs, everybody there, or selling weed, everybody. I'm going with How High. That's it.
All right. So, a couple of points here. Method Man was in Garden State.
No, he wasn't.
Method Man was in Garden State. How High is the movie that they were both in, but Method Man was in Garden State. Redman was in Seed of Chucky, and How High is the one that they were both in together. But the Titanic, I would like to see them in it, and I'd like to see them just like as the boat sinks, they just keep rapping,
The musicians that they have to keep playing.
The been.
I do believe Old Dirty Bastard was in Titanic, so but I might be wrong.
Oh, that was the member. It was old Dirty Bastard.
He was in Titanic.
I did actually learn today that, or not today, this week while reading up on this stuff, that Old Dirty Bastard was 36 when he died, which, makes me feel kind of old because I'm older than that, and I don't like that his nickname was Old Dirty Bastard any longer.
We could be Older Dirty Bastard. It's okay. That name isn't taken yet, so.
I'm older Dirty Bastard, sure.
Well, he started going by that at, what, like 26, right? So
Yeah.
Probably.
that's just,
Yeah.
can't judge yourself by that standard.
Yeah, I mean, also, considering how old he was, maybe he wasn't that dirty either. I mean, maybe their idea of what dirty was, is a low bar.
Throws everything into question. Yeah.
Young, clean, nice boy.
Maybe he wasn't even a bastard. We don't know.
His parents were married. I'm sure they were in the house or something.
They had a nice life. Oh man. Okay, so Laura's at 4, Ken's at 4, James is at 1.
Doing great.
So I think this is the last question of the normal round, and then we can do a tiebreaker for Ken and Laura. But
Okay.
James, this will determine if you lose by like 4 points or 5 points here. So,
All right, we're going for third, bronze medal. Let's go.
all right. So I forget what categories are open. Let's just say whatever category you want.
Let's do. I haven't done wild card yet. Let's do wild card, please.
All right. Your wild card question is: Danny DeVito has won 1 Emmy. Which television role was it for? Your options are A. Frank Reynolds in It's Always Sunny. B. Vincent Van Trash in Sesame Street. C. Louis De Palma in Taxi. Or D. Himself for hosting SNL.
Ooh. Be interesting. Do people win Emmys for being on Sesame Street? Is that a thing? The other options were what? Always Sunny, Taxi, and SNL?
Mm-hmm. SNL.
I feel like none of them. Isn't the whole thing like their joke that none of the characters on Always Sunny have won awards? Isn't that why they do an entire episode called "The Gang Wins an Award"? I feel like that's like the whole trope about that show. It'd be funny if he won an Emmy and just never told any of them. But what were the other options?
So It's Always Sunny, Sesame Street, Taxi, or SNL.
Taxi or SNL. Let's see. Well, I'm convinced that no one wins Emmys on Sesame Street because most of the characters aren't real. Well, no, there's people. I keep forgetting that there's people on Sesame Street. You can tell that I don't watch a lot of television.
Well, not a lot of Sesame Street, but that's okay.
Not a lot of Sesame Street. I was more of a Barney person.
What? Oh, jeez. Come on.
Let's go with Let's go with Taxi. Because that's a show that I've never watched, and yeah, it seems like every other answer that I went with my gut, I got wrong. So I have a feeling that Taxi wouldn't be the right answer, so I'm going to pick Taxi.
Taxi is correct.
Woo!
Yeah, way to go. I know that gut feeling.
The question was worth 3 points, right?
So, all right, you have 2 points to close out the game.
Excellent. Bye.
What did I ask Oscars?
Hmm?
What about Oscars? Or like Golden Globes? It's an outrage that this man has
won, like,
won
very
Emmy.
few awards. It's weird. Yeah.
Did he
I
get
can't
anything?
explain.
Did he win anything for Matilda? He produced and directed that, right?
I mean, he might have won, but that would have been an Oscar. I was just looking at Emmys.
I know he got nominated for because he did Reno. I know he got nominated for Reno.
I think he's been shortchanged.
Oh.
It's a
Not
disgrace.
Reno.
We won't stand for it.
One bad pun. Everybody can make bad pun.
All right. So we need a tiebreaker between Laura and Ken here.
Yeah, so how do we want to do this? Do we want to ask them each like questions until they get one wrong? Do we want to ask one question if people buzz in? What are we doing here?
I say we just ask one, and then whoever gets it first,
Oh boy, just blurt it out.
just blurt out your answer.
Oh no. Okay.
Right. Do you have a question you like that you want to use?
I didn't have one in mind. Do you have one?
I don't, but you could do your question about like why he's short.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, I know I'm trying to find it in the.
It's under wild
Okay.
card.
Here it is. So, Ken and Laura, feel free to yell out the answer at any time, and if you get it right, you win. Maybe the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. If you get it right, you win the whole thing. So, Danny DeVito's short stature is a result of what?
Fairbanks disease.
Wow.
Also known as MED.
I was gonna say the bone thing where it doesn't let him grow. Whatever, you got it.
That was
Very-
actually.
Yeah, same deal.
Yeah, that was
very-
actually option
But that's
C
when
was
you
the
do some
bone thing.
cramming.
Yeah.
That's a detail that shows up. Really.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
the-
I could-
So Laura got it right. The options that I was going to give you was too much caffeine as a child, Fairbanks disease, which is the correct answer, dwarfism, which sometimes people might have
Right.
thought, and
Right.
D, he's actually 6 feet tall and just refuses to work with anyone under 7 feet tall. But, I mean, it's a great way for the tiebreaker to go, for Laura to just know the answer and yell it out before I even got to it, so.
I think when you were like, just yell it out, I was like, oh, okay, we're not gonna get the choices. I gotta just shoot my shot, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Fairbanks disease.
Oh man, that's good. I also like like I read the medical term like something meta whatever scola whatever. I'm like Fairbanks. Oh, very good job. Good mind. That's I can. Okay.
Right on,
Thing where the
so.
bones don't get longer, whatever it is, the short bone disease. I don't know.
No.
Our winner this week is Laura Clark. Laura, if you have a show that you want to plug or anything that you want to talk about, really, this is your moment right here.
Oh man. Oh, I'm not prepared for this. Okay, first of all, if Sean Carter, if you hadn't started Pick a Side Stupid, we would not be here on this Thursday night. My fellow contestants, Ken, James, it's an honor to be in the company of other Devito tastes, such as myself. I'm the one holding the award, but I feel like we all really helped each other get here. There's no hierarchy. Me, Keith, oh my God. Okay. You ask the best questions, you do the best research, you're gonna be the best mom and the best homeowner.
It's just Sean.
Inspiration. my parents, they're good. Encourage reading. And don't send the kids back to school yet. Thank you.
Woo! Yeah.
Very, very good speech.
Laura.
So this was fun. We'll be back
Kind of came off the top there.
next week. May, we're good for next week, right?
Yeah, we're good for next week.
Cool. So we'll do this again next Thursday. We'll try and do the polling again and see how everybody answers. And tomorrow night we're doing Danny DeVito debate. So tune back in tomorrow night, right here on YouTube. Pick a side, stupid. Thanks, everybody.
Hello?
Very fun. Oh man, the last second I was like, what? You were good. That was quick. Very good.
Sorry, I didn't even.
That's perfect. That's fine. It was good. It was good. Gotta be quick. Yeah, I just ran up in my quick research today. I was like, Wikipedia helped me out, but it didn't stick in my head. Very good.